بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنه من سليمان وإنه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صدق الله العظيم. Last week we had discussed the various virtues of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and we said that we will try and continue this week with the virtues that are remaining. But before we go to that, one Jamaat was here now from Zambia. And this was an ulama Jamaat, and Maulana Metar had come with one alim, and he had come to Darul Ifta. So when we were in Zambia now a few weeks ago, this Jamaat had already left, so we didn't get a chance to meet this particular Jamaat. So there was a program after the Maghrib Salah in a particular masjid. So one youngster, he had taken me for the program. But in Zambia, the da'wat, they're so mashhur that it is known that you go to Zambia, when they give you da'wat, 8-10 dishes they put on the table. And after Zohar also there's da'wat. After Asr also is da'wat. After the program also somebody will take you, and then will be supper. You can hardly eat. So after the Asr Salah, before the Maghrib Bayan, so one student, he took me to somebody's home. And I was alone because there were two alims that had gone from South Africa. He had gone, the other alim had gone to another venue. I had gone to another venue. So much, 8 to 10 things they put on the dastarkhan. So I told him, I'm one person. How much I'm going to eat? Just 1 or 2 things I'm going to touch, and that's it. I don't want more than that. So then we were sitting and we were talking over there. So as we were talking, so I said, MashaAllah, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has blessed the people of Zambia. Very, very greatly Allah Ta'ala has blessed them. So then he mentioned something to me. So he says that two things. He said, one is, this is the barakat of our akabirin. That in Zambia, this is one place that all our seniors have been coming here over and over again. Maulana Abdul Rahim Saheb, Motara, who is in Chipata, that is the top, and Lusaka is down and Chipata is on the top. That he was bet was a Sheikh Rahmatullah alayhi. And his brother is Ma Yusuf Motara Saheb, that is in England. And he also spent so much of time in the company of the Sheikh Rahmatullah alayhi. So many akabirin that came, they used to come there by Maulana Abdul Rahim Saheb in Chipata. Mufti Mahmud al-Hasan Saheb Gangoi Rahmatullah alayhi. What a giant, what a great alim. He was the Mufti of the entire Hindustan. So he used to also come here and he used to stay here as well. And Hazrat Mufti Saheb sometimes used to stay for 1 month, he used to stay here. And after staying here for 1 month, that at the end when he is leaving, he would take out money from his pocket. And he would tell Maulana Abdul Rahim Saheb that I stayed here for 1 month, I'm paying for my accommodation. So Maulana Abdul Rahim Saheb used to say, no, you don't have to pay. It's all from my side, it is sorted out. But he would insist that he would pay. And the next time after that, when Hazrat Mufti Saheb came, then Abdul Rahim Saheb thought he was 1 step ahead of Hazrat Mufti Saheb. But Mufti Saheb was Hazir Jawab, very, very witty, he would answer on the turn. So he told Hazrat Mufti Saheb Rahmatullah alayhi, he said that I already paid for you on this visit. So he told Hazrat Mufti Saheb, then told Maulana Abdul Rahim Saheb, he said, see, normally I stay first and then I pay in the end. When you say you paid for me already, it means my time is up now. I must move it up from here also. So many such akabirin, they used to come and they used to spend a lot of time in Chipata. And at one time, Chipata, our Haji Saheb, Abdul Rashid Desai Saheb mentioned to me that at one time in Chipata, 100% musallis. You go there at time of Salah, all the shops also are closed. And all of them have gone for Salah. And not only that, but the locals that are there, that are studying in the Darulooms that are there, or not even the Darulooms that are there, many of them, they can speak Gujarati also. Yeah, our children can't speak Gujarati, we can't speak Gujarati. But the locals over there, they speaking Gujarati. And they speaking Urdu. I met one alim, one Mufti Saheb here in Johannesburg. So I had gone for somewhere, somebody had given us dawat, so we had gone there. So when I went there, this person is making dua. But I was a bit late, so I couldn't see who was making dua. So I thought there's one alim maybe from India, Pakistan, that he is making dua. After the program was over, then I found out this Mufti Saheb, he's a local person, and he is making dua in Urdu. And what eloquent Urdu he is making dua in. That perhaps the person that knows his mother tongue is Urdu also. Maybe he won't be able to speak Urdu like that. That is the level of his Urdu. So later on when I was speaking to him, I said, where you learned Urdu like this? He said, Chipata. I stayed in Chipata, and Maulana Abdul Rahim Saheb, I stayed in his company, and this is how I learned Urdu. So the point that I was coming to, that they had a problem at one time. In 1963, so this person after Asr, that's the point. After Asr Salah, now we're sitting and having meals. We're having some light snacks, so we're talking. So I told him that you're very, very fortunate over here. So he said in 1963, we had a problem here in Chipata, in the entire Zambia. So what was the problem? The local people, they started protesting. And today this is exactly our problem in South Africa. We're fearing. 1 year ago there was looting. Anytime the looting can start again. Anytime, and everybody is prepared for the looting. But that is not the solution to the problem. The solution is what happened over here. So here also the local people started protesting. And they started, what they said? They said that the Indian people that are here, that have come from India, Pakistan, wherever it might be, they are trading over here. So don't renew their licenses. They required a license to trade at that time. So don't renew their licenses when their license expires here. So the British were, I think it was just before independence, before Zambia had got the independence. So the British were ruling. So they also agreed, they said, no, we won't renew their licenses. So they became very fearful. So they said, either you go back now, either you can go away to England, because those Indians that were staying there, they had British passports. All of them had British citizenship. So they could go away to England. Many of them went away to England. And the others, they went back to India. And some of them, they remained there. So at that time they said, what should we do? So they wrote to Hazrat Mullah Yusuf Saheb Rahmatullah Alayhi. And they asked Hazrat Ji, Mullah Yusuf Saheb Rahmatullah Alayhi, that this is the condition here currently. And what should we do with this condition? So Mullah Yusuf Saheb Rahmatullah Alayhi told him, he said that, see, renew your niyat. What you went to Zambia for? You went to Zambia to do business, to make money. What have you gone there? You have gone there with the intention of Deen, to spread the Deen of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So just renew your niyat, just change your niyat, and you will see the consequence and you will see the result of this. They followed the instruction of Hazrat Mullah Yusuf Saheb Rahmatullah Alayhi. That brother that was there, he was an elderly person, maybe he was in his 60s, late 60s. He said that many people, they went and surrendered the British passport. And to surrender a British passport, today everybody is looking for British passport and green card and everything else. They went and they surrendered it. They said, we don't want this. We came here for Deen, we will die for Deen. And it is mentioned just after that, just shortly, 1 or 2 months after that, they renewed everyone's licenses. They got the day you got your licenses. And they kept up with the Akabirin up to now. They are keeping up with the Akabirin. We were invited, this one youngster, he used to always send queries to the Darul Ifta. So I didn't know who this youngster is. So we used to reply, but very good questions he was asking. And whatever were the problems that were in Zambia, he wanted to rectify it. For example, one particular question he asked about in the month of Ramadan, the youngsters after Taraweeh, they are going to play football and they're going to play cricket and all these type of things. So we had responded to this. So this was the nature of queries that he was sending. So I saw that this may be some alim or some very good youngster. But nevertheless, after Ramadan was over, then he sent me a message. He says, no, I want to invite you over. So I said, I don't even know this person. Who is this person? And he's inviting me over. So I said, inshallah, we'll see some other time. So everything got left. After 1 week, he followed it up. He sent me another email and or message. And he said that, you know what, we want you to come. So then I asked Hazrat Abdul Hamid Sahib down Barakat, and I asked Hazrat whether I should go or I shouldn't go. So Hazrat told me immediately, he said, you must go. You must go, you must move it up, go to Zambia and have the programs over there. And alhamdulillah, they never had the Islahi Jalsa before. This was the first Islahi Jalsa that they had. So when I reached there, I noticed these youngsters, they actually all university students. They're not even any ulama. Some of them are not even huffaz or anything. They're university students. But the respect that they got for ulama, you cannot believe what respect that they got for ulama. Young boys, 20 years, 22 years. And there were some youngsters that were like 16 and 17 years old also. So those boys, 16, 17 years old, they always walking with us. So I said, you all must be tired. You go and have a rest. What you all walking with us all the time and being with us? So they said, no, we want sohbat. We want company. We want to remain with you all. So see, when they stayed in the company of mashayikh that came all these years, where have they gone to today? Where have these youngsters also gone to today? So this group of youngsters between 20 and 25 years old, they started this group and they called this group Al-Kahf. And we know in the Quran Sharif, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala speaks about Surah Al-Kahf. And they were a group of youngsters. And the king wanted them to make sajda. But to protect their iman, they left the town and they went out of the town. And they remained in the town, in that cave for approximately 309 years they remained there. But they protected their iman. So these youngsters also, they refer to themselves as the Al-Kahf. They have a publication, they've taken out a kitab also now. So Al-Kahf publication. And now in the last week, Qari Ismail Desai Saheb of Amzinto, they invited him also. So their objective is that bring all the ulama, bring all the senior mashayikh to our country and let the people continue benefiting. Because to a a great extent, this work of tasawwuf had stopped over there. Alhamdulillah, the Jamaat work up to now, it is very, very strong over there, mashallah. In the Markaz that is there in Lusaka, very strong the Jamaat work. And the Amir Sahib that is there, perhaps he's more than 80, approximately 80, 90 years old. Maulana Rashid Rawat Sahib, his father that is. Maulana Rashid Rawat Sahib also, such a senior alim. But every year he comes to the Khanqa in Azadwal and he spends 10 days in the Khanqa in the company of Hazrat Abdul Hamid Sahib, Damat Barakatum. And all the ulama that go there, he is with all the ulama. He takes care of all the ulama, makes khidmat of all the ulama. Then we met one brother that was there. Look at the barakat of Akabirin. One brother that is there, Shabir Bhai Lulat. Shabir Bhai Lulat, he is perhaps in his 70s now, elderly person. So they said, no, let's go and visit him. And he knows a lot of history about Zambia. But obviously we didn't have time, we were rushing. The program was after Asr, it was going to start. And just before Asr, we had gone to visit him. We were very, very tired also. So all the kitab of our Akabirin, Maulana Qamrul Zaman Sahib, Damat Barakatum, Maulana Thanvi Rahmatullah Alim, Maulana Abdullah Sahib Kapotravi of Tadgeshwar, all those kitabs, they were by him. And the kitabs have been translated in South Africa. But Shabir Bhai, he's in Zambia, he is paying for all the kitabs that are translated in South Africa. And after they translated here, these kitabs are moved over to Zambia. They distributed here in South Africa also, they distributed there also. So look at the work. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has accepted them. One little, before we were leaving, they said, no, before you go to the airport, they really work you. You must go to various places and have program. So before we went to airport also, they said, no, we're stopping at one last masjid and you must have a program there. So we went to that masjid and really all young boys, you'll see the local boys, but all young boys. But what discipline they've got in them and how they read Quran Sharif. One orphanage we went to, how these orphan children, they read Quran Sharif. Really, we're impressed the way they recite Quran Sharif. So when we went there, these young boys were there. So we just spoke about parents, etc., the rights of the parents. So one alim that was over there, so he was a local alim. So that local alim, he said that I listened to certain recordings, certain majalis, and after that I have my majlis also in this masjid. We thinking, where he's having majlis over here. So the alim that was with me, he asked him, he said that, who's your sheikh, who you connected to that you are having majlis? So he said, I'm connected to Maulana Qamrul Zaman Sahib. Maulana Qamrul Zaman Sahib is an authority of tasawwuf, a very, very great sheikh of tasawwuf, a very senior alim. But this person is a local person. But he says, I got ta'alluq with Maulana Qamrul Zaman Sahib. And how many people in that area, they got ta'alluq, they got connection with great akabirin like Maulana Qamrul Zaman Sahib and many other akabirin. So this is the barakat, al-barakatu ma'al akabir. That if you want barakat in your life, then stay with the akabirin, stay with the seniors, let our children stay in their company. And like so to say, magic will take place. Our Shaykh mentioned to us that in the time of Hazrat Maulana Masihullah Sahib Khan Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi, he said that we saw those people that brought their children just to make salam to Hazrat Maulana Masihullah Rahmatullah Alayhi. And they made salam and that's all. They just made one salam and then they went away. He said those children, later on they became huffaz, those children became ulama of deen. He said we saw Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah Alayhi. Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah Alayhi, in the end of his life, Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah Alayhi, there was nothing left in. Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah had no strength also. But every safar that Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah Alayhi made in the end of his life, that was the instruction from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he made i'tikaf. Last i'tikaf as Shaykh Rahmatullah Alayhi made in his life was in Stanger Masjid, and before that in Faisalabad, and that was all on the instruction of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I think after Faisalabad or after South Africa, the Shaykh Rahmatullah had gone to England also. That was also on the mashwara and on the instruction of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And as the Shaykh Rahmatullah Alayhi feared, he feared that I will not pass away in Madinatul Munawwara, whereas his desire was to pass away in Madinatul Munawwara. And Nabi alayhi salam told him, don't worry, you will come back, you will pass away in Madinah Munawwara. You undertake these journeys. And he undertook these journeys, and finally Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala took as a Shaykh Rahmatullah Alayhi in Madinatul Munawwara. He passed away in Madinah Sharif. But in the end of the life of the Shaykh Rahmatullah Alayhi, was it mentioned that he would be sitting, his head would be down, somebody would be holding his hand. And this we saw Mufti Mahmud Sahib Rahmatullah, when he came to South Africa, there would be somebody holding his hand, they can't even lift their hands. And people will just come in a line, and they will just put their hands in their hands, and then they will continue. But even in that condition of his, as a Shaykh Rahmatullah alayhi, while sitting like this, his eyes is closed and his hand is like this, and people just come and they're making musafa and they're going. And then he'll just say all of a sudden, somebody would put their hand there, he'll say, Isko ijazat de do. Give him khilafat. Make him my khalifa. Make this person my khalifa. So when we go and we stay with akabirin, then really there is great benefit in this, which we will not understand. So here also in our country, the actual thing is this, that change, whatever our niyat is, change our niyat. That up to now, perhaps our niyat has been wealth, has been to make money in this country, have a good and comfortable life. That Allah Ta'ala is going to give us. When a person, he gets a cow, what is the objective of the cow? He wants milk from the cow. But at the same time, in India, in those days, they used to use the cow dung. So the cow dung is, by the way, you will get that, you will be able to benefit. They used to use it in their cooking, etc., for the fire to burn. They used to use all the dung. But the objective is the milk. So the objective must be deen. And the cow dung, that is like dunya. The wealth is going to come. You do Allah's work, how Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will take care of you. In tansurullah yansurkum. You help the deen of Allah. Fulfill the commands of Allah. Yansurkum, Allah will help you. Wa yuthabbit aqdamakum, and Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will make your feet steadfast. Allah Ta'ala will make your feet steadfast. So this is what is required in this day and age as well. There is no such thing as running away, that I will run away from the problem. One person, he had gone in Jamaat, he had gone to South America. So when he went to South America, he says so much of discipline. In South America, so much of discipline. He says that the dog also, it comes to the traffic light, comes to the robot, and it crosses over there. And he says that we said to ourselves, where are we living in South Africa? This is the place that we need to live in. That look at the discipline in the dog also. He said hardly one day had passed, and he said the looting started. He said to get one loaf of bread, we had to wait 3 hours in the queue. We said, Ya Allah, take us back to our country. We want to go back there. So really, nobody can really run away from the problem. What is meant to happen here, that is going to happen wherever you're going to go. If it's written that is going to happen to you, it's going to happen. Who thought that that's going to happen, what's going to happen in Russia and Ukraine today? Who knew all these things that were going to happen? Today one person, he phoned me, he's a jewelry merchant. And we know what has happened to the gold price. Gold price has gone to approximately $1,600. And at one stage it was over $2,000 an ounce. Now it is $1,600. So he's worried. He's saying, what must we do? Is there any wazifa that we can read? And he's living in a country where he's got a peaceful life, not in South Africa. He's in another country and he's got a peaceful life over there. So really, the solution is to turn to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, change our niyat, and if our niyat is correct, our niyat is we are here for the deen of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, to spread the deen of Allah, then we will go very far. I'll just finish on this, coming to my mind also. Once when we were in Dar es Salaam, so we wanted to go for a program to Zanzibar. So Zanzibar, you just get into the ferry and you cross over and you can have a program. But we didn't know anybody there. So we had to book somewhere and we had to stay. And we arranged somehow or the other to get into one to masajid to have a program. So whilst we were there, we were sitting in the place where we booked. We were sitting over there. And one person, he saw me. So he recognized me, I didn't know him. So he said, I know you from South Africa and you in a certain masjid. He says, now I'm remembering you in Azadville, in a certain masjid I saw you. So I said, okay. So he came and he sat down. Then he starts telling me, he was a school teacher, originally somewhere from Port Shepstone, but he settled down in Johannesburg. And he was retired, over 70 years old. He said, look at what a pleasure it is to be in this country. He said, what a pleasure that the masajid at the time of Salah in Zanzibar, it is full. The masajid are all full. People are absolutely poor people. Sometimes they don't even have food. But the masjid is full to capacity. People are reading their 5 times namaz. Same, Dar es Salaam is the same also. That 5 times a day, the masajid, they are full. And what humble people, what respect they got. So he is telling me after that, this person who was a teacher, the retired teacher, he said, in South Africa, if only we gave deen to the local people, today the enjoyment these people are having here, we would have had the same enjoyment in South Africa. So it is never too late. We make our niyat, we change our niyat, and each person, don't worry about everybody doing the work. Just work in our home, that local, that worker, that domestic that is in our home. How many domestics? You just present Islam to them and see how they will bring iman. And then teach them how to read namaz, teach them deen, and you will see they will fast also with you in the month of Ramadan. How many domestics, they say, impossible, we don't know how you fast and your children fast. Later on, the same domestics, when they accepted Islam, they were able to do the work also, and they were keeping their roza also. Allah made it so easy for them. So start in our own homes, that give them dawat, and see they will accept Islam. Once, when we had, in the lockdown period, we had a jalsa. So when we had a jalsa, then obviously somehow the children ran out and the police came, and they got into the masjid. So we're getting in from one fence, and they also saw where we're getting in from, so they got into the masjid. So alhamdulillah, they didn't harass us or give any problems to us. They didn't even arrest anyone. They let everyone go. But that same police officer that came to the masjid, and he entered the masjid, 2 days later he came back, and the one alim, he went to his house. I don't know how he knew his home, but he went to his house. And he told him, make me read the shahadat. I want to accept Islam. So there are how many people like this? We just have to make little effort. If every person in his household, one person accepts Islam, how far wouldn't the deen of Allah tabarak wa ta'ala reach? Allah ta'ala give us all tawfiq, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وبارك وسلم فاذكروني أذكركم أنا جليس من ذكرني دل میرا ہو جائے ایک میدان ہو تو ہی تو ہو تو ہی تو ہو تو ہی تو اور میرے تن میں بجائے آب وگل درد دل ہو درد دل ہو درد دل غیر سے بالکل ہی ات جائے نظر تو ہی تو آئے نظر دیکھوں جدھر لا الہ الا اللہ محمد رسول اللہ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم لا الہ الا اللہ 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 محمد رسول اللہ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم. الہی دل میں میرے غیر کا اثر نہ رہے، سوائے تیرے کسی پر میری نظر نہ رہے. تو کر بے خبر ساری خبروں سے مجھ کو، الہی رہوں ایک خبردار تیرا. لا الہ الا اللہ 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 الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ محمد رسول اللہ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم. کوئی مجھ سے پوچھے میں کیا مانگتا ہوں، میں اپنے خدا سے خدا مانگتا ہوں. وہ ہو جائے میرا میں ہو جاؤں اس کا، یہی رات دن میں دعا مانگتا ہوں. عطا کر دے وہ مجھ کو اپنی محبت، میں اس کے سوا کچھ اور نہیں مانگتا ہوں. ناراضگی جس کی دوزخ سے بر کر، اسی ذات کی بس رضا مانگتا ہوں. اصل مجھے دنیا کی خواہش نہیں، میں بخشش بروز جزا مانگتا ہوں. لا الہ الا اللہ 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 محمد رسول اللہ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم. اللہ اللہ کیسا پیارا نام ہے، عاشقوں کا مینا اور جام ہے. اللہ جل جلالہ تعالی شانہ. اللہ 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 ایچه شیرین است نام، شیر و شکر می شود جانم تمام. اللہ 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 دل کا پتہ کوئی نشان تو بتا دے مجھ کو اے رب جہاں اللہ 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 جل جلالہ اللهم لك الحمد كله ولك الشكر كله ولك الملك كله وإليك يرجع الأمر كله اللهم لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد كلما ذكره الذاكرون وكلما غفل عن ذكره الغافلون اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها فأنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها اللهم ارحمنا بترك المعاصي ولا تشقنا بمعصيتك اللهم إنا نسألك حبك وحب من يحبك والعمل الذي يبلغنا حبك اللهم اجعل حبك أحب إلينا من أنفسنا وأهلنا ومن الماء البارد اللهم ارزقنا حبك وحب رسولك صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك منه نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذك منه نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم جزا الله عنا محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم بما هو أهله سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله